Hey everybody, Paul Foster with Second Hand Productions, and we've had a long day with the hashtag IAmACreator crowd. James Cox is probably off eating some lunch or some late lunch, early dinner. Um, Everybody is kind of relaxing and winding down, and I wanted to continue mainly because we did this experiment today. And the purpose of the experiment was to see if we pushed out this one video on a completely new channel, what kind of attention would this video get? I thought it'd be kind of interesting to share that outcome. Possibly go ahead and we could watch James Cox short film Body and chat about that. And anything else you want to talk about? We can talk about film. We can talk about pretty much anything that might interest you. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the chat and get that ready. And if we get a few people that show up here, I know it's getting late, especially over on the other side of the pond. But if we get a few people that show up here over the next hour or so, and they want to join the live stream, they're welcome to come on the panel. And we can have a long discussion about just about anything. Now, this is not our normal live stream. Our normal live stream is going to be Sunday evening, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time here in the U.S. That would be Greenwich Mean Time minus 5 hours, I believe. So if you're interested in what we're going to discuss tomorrow night, we talked a little bit about that during our hashtag IAmACreator discussion today. And we kind of got a little bit into that, which is a list of things that we call Mary Sue's or Marty Stews. There's a lot of videos out there on what those are, but we can have an interesting discussion about that tomorrow. As for today, I'm really kind of interested in continuing on this discussion regarding the experiment that we did in the creatathon 19. So let me see if I can pull up today this live stream. We shall see if that works. I really appreciate all the support that I got from everybody today. It's gone a long way. And let me pop this out. I'm going to kill this audio. I'm going to pop out the chat. And that way, if anybody's out there, let's see, pop out the chat. There we go. That way I don't have to look at all that. And we're back. So in our discussion today, I kind of was telling everybody about this new format that I'm going with. A lot of the stuff that I do, I cannot actively share with everybody. I work on other films, and that stuff all stays hush hush. I'm not allowed to really just kind of put that out there for everybody to watch. I'd love to do how-tos on the visual effects that we work on for these other films. I'd love to do how-tos on, green screening using footage, but I can't do any of that. I can't show you my matte paintings. I can't show you any of this stuff, unfortunately, which kind of makes the question that we were talking about earlier in the live stream. It kind of made that do I pre-schedule videos and put them out there, or do I just put stuff out constantly? And my position on this is a little bit different than James Cox's position, and it shows that we got a couple people watching. If you're watching, drop me a message in the chat room, and so I can see who you are. Thanks for stopping by to check us out. But the question that I have for everybody out there, and it was discussed earlier, the issue is, do you live stream every single day if you come up with an idea every single day, and then if you don't have an idea, you just don't live stream that day? Or do you go the more traditional promoted way of doing this and you live stream on a schedule? Or not live stream, but you create content on a schedule. So I keep my elbows on my table and it's rocking the table. Sorry about that, guys. So what works best for you? I'm interested in what you're saying. Everybody in the chat earlier was saying that, hey, you got content, throw it up there. Throw it up there. You never know when you're going to get those views. You never know, how much closer you're going to get. And I really, for some reason, I think that if I could get on a schedule, if you're on a schedule where every one of you knows that I'm going to release something every Thursday at this time, or every Monday at this time, we're going to do a live stream, whatever it is. Right now, our schedules become Sunday evenings. We live stream at 7, as I mentioned at the beginning of this, at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time here in the U.S. And then on Thursday afternoons, I have the short review series that I've started, and I've actually got multiple episodes of that scheduled out, and they'll be released every Thursday about 2 o'clock Central Standard Time. And I find that format works best for me with what I have to do. Um, and I think it takes a lot of pressure off of me as a creator, because when I put content out there, that content's out there, and I know that I'm covered. You know, I mean, if I can't come up with anything to do, if I can't come up with any creative ideas or any kind of like novelties or anything that I could put out there, you know, stand on my head, do a yoga challenge, do a hot water challenge, hot water challenge. Yeah, the scalding hot water. I'm doing the scalding hot water challenge, and the paramedics are standing right over here. Oh, hey, we got Cloud 97. He says, I think if you have a schedule, it would work in your favor, but be willing to do off the cuff streams when you have new ideas. That's a great suggestion. I kind of agree with that. That if you've got something like as I've talked about, you know, I have this new series that I'm going to push out, and I can schedule at least at a minimum. The important thing is to create consistent content for your viewers that goes beyond just the hashtag I'm a creator crowd, and you start to create a natural audience. I mean, the hashtag I'm a creator group is great, and I think if you're not doing that, you definitely want to get involved. You know, I can tell you right now, the video that was posted as a test earlier today, I'm not even going to tell you where to find it, because it kind of like screws up the test. But we created a channel, and in that channel, we uploaded a video. I think the channel was, I'm not going to tell you what it's called. It doesn't really matter if I tell you what it was called. It was called Pay It Forward, which is kind of comical. But it was based off of what we're doing with the IAmACreator network. And so we created this channel, and I created, and then I uploaded one of my videos that's pending, that hasn't been released yet. That particular video it was up for 1 hour before the marathon kind of finished. It wrapped after its 8-hour event, and it was up for 1 hour, and it had over 100 views in that 1 hour. And the only place that video was promoted was it was dropped in the chat room for the hashtag I'm a creator crowd that was online at that time. They in turn took it, they watched it, they liked it, and then they shared it on Twitter. So within 45 minutes to an hour, we had 100 views. So, you know, there's some power to that. And then the question comes down to, would it be, you know, you get up this content, as Cloud 97 says, you should kind of schedule content out, and then be willing to do off the cuff stuff, just like I'm doing right now. So, you know, that particular video, and I will pull it up. Let me see where it go. Where you go, video, YouTube. You can find me some YouTube. Let's see. I think everybody went to bed after the marathon, to be honest with you. I wish there was an easy way for me to see who's watching. I got 2 people watching. I got 1 person in the chat room. I have 3 people watching, 1 person in the chat room. So definitely, if you're watching, make a comment. Let us know who you are, so we can, you know, that way you can participate. But let's find this thing. I'm trying to remember. Let's see. Yeah, let's see. The short review. Hiding. What's hiding? I got Cloud 97 says it's hiding. I don't know what that means. Elaborate. Oh, there's one, but that's not the one I'm looking for. I don't know that you'd be able to even search for this. It's only been up for maybe an hour and a half. Man, Pay It Forward. There's a channel called Pay It Forward, but there's a whole bunch of stuff called Pay It Forward. Oh, the video is hiding. No, it's not hiding. It is public. We did not make it private. But I'm going to scroll down here until I find it. Let's see. That's not it. Oh my gosh. Haley Joel Osment. Pay It Forward. Back when he was still young and cute and talented. Now he's just doesn't look anything like he did back then, huh? They say he has a hard time getting roles because of that. That's kind of sucks, but oh yeah, there's a picture of him. No. All right, let's see. Pay it forward, pay it forward. Still digging, still digging. I should just log in. I don't know if that's gonna. Hopefully, it doesn't mess up my live stream. I don't think it will. Let's see. Okay, so pay it forward. Everybody can still see me, right? Cloud 97, you can still see me, right? Nobody else is talking at this point. All right, so if I go to the channel and I look at this one video, let's go to Creator Studio, because I know it had over 104 views, 28 comments, 18 likes, all within hour and a half. Most of that came in that hour. But that just goes to show the power of the hashtag IAmACreator crowd. And that kind of lends itself to the argument that's being made that if you just post continuously whatever you got, then it shouldn't be a problem. I think the important thing, hey, it's Jennifer Pritchett. Whatever you do, just keep creating. Trial and error away. I learned so much from these videos. Oh, I appreciate it, Jen. Well, the big thing we're doing right now is kind of like playing with some concepts on how to create, a fan base for the channel. And the big thing we've been doing is I have the series that I'm pushing out. It's on a schedule. It comes out at 2:00 Central Standard Time on Thursdays now, and it's where I review and provide kind of like feedback comment on short films. Now you can find feedback comment on features all you want all day long, and I mean there's like 10,000 of them out there. You pick a movie, name a movie. I bet you there's at least 1,000 reviews on that movie on YouTube right now. So I'm more interested in short films mainly because I learn a lot from them. I mean, Jen, you heard me say this, when we worked together on set, and I really truly believe that. So I thought it'd be interesting to grow the audience, continue to kind of like show, content while I'm working on other people's projects, while I'm working on my projects when I can't show the content that I'm working on. So by scheduling it out, it actually buys me time. So, I can do these reviews in, 2-3 hours. I can edit and, kind of comment, edit and clean up and then post a review and have it scheduled. So if like I can do over a weekend 4 or 5 reviews, I'm covered for a month plus, 5 weeks. Then if I get busy or I go to film like we did when we filmed In Plain Sight, Jen, you saw the schedule there. There's just no way. There's no way I'm going to be able to put content up every day. And if you go from posting content every day to posting content once, all of a sudden you go a week without posting content, I kind of honestly believe that the YouTube universe is kind of like people and they go, oh, he's gone. He's gone. So, and then they walk away and then you never see him again. Now, I'm not saying everybody's going to do that, but I think there's a percentage of people that do walk away. So as far as things like posting how-to videos, tricks and, and things like that, those definitely fall under what Cloud 97 was saying about off the cuff type streams. But to have at least 2 streams a week, and it also depends on, I really do believe it depends on the production quality, what you're trying to put on YouTube. The higher, it is a fact that the higher the production quality, the fewer videos you need to post, and the more people will go back and rewatch. So they'll watch, and then they might come back and rewatch. Film Riot does a great job of this, with all their videos that they've done for years. And, people go back and they'll rewatch it. Why? They're entertaining and informative. So that should be everybody's goals. Hey, Matt, how's it going? Hey, Matt, what film are you working on right now? Are you still, now I saw something with Matt Williams the other day and you got a role. Did you get that role? Matt Williams came in and He had a project he posted on Facebook. Matt's a great actor. He's a great guy. Jennifer Pritchett is an actress. And if you guys haven't seen Jennifer's project, I want to see if I can. I don't know how this works, but let's do this. How do I do that? How do I make somebody? I don't even know how to do that. Anybody know how to make somebody a moderator? I have no clue. But hey, Andy, how's it going? Thanks for joining us. The Jen was in it's called The Wishing Well. She was in a music video called The Wishing Well, and I'm gonna see if I can find it real quick because that's a really cool video as well. Let me see, it's here somewhere. Wishing Well, I found it, and that's by Gary Eisenhuth. Is that how you say his name, Jen? Is it Gary Eisenhuth? I hope I said that right. I'd hate to have said it wrong. No, that would be impossible. That schedule was slam packed. Yeah. See, Jen, no, she was there. We were doing 12, 16-hour days. There's no way that you could do 12, 16-hour days. Then you got to go back. You've got to watch your dailies. Then you got to prep your shot list for the next day. There's just no way you're going to do a live stream. I mean, we try to do live streams at the end of some of the days, and you can go back and you can look at them. In the In Plain Sight series that's on our channel, and you can see how tired Krista Watson and David Ford are when they're going through this, when they're doing these lives. So we ended up doing one at the beginning, day one, and then we did one on day 4. That was it. You know, I mean, it was a 4-day shoot, and it was just crazy schedule. So if you're live streaming or you're creating content every day, and then all of a sudden you're not creating content, I think it kind of hurts your audience. I'm not sure, Andy, if you got a suggestion on that one, if you think that hurts your audience, I'd be curious to know. But that's just my personal belief. I think that when you get into channels like, that have 1 million plus subscribers or supporters, whatever you want to call them, and you have the piano guys, they do maybe one every month to a month and a half. It's like they don't crank out videos constantly. Why? It's a huge production for them to turn around a music video of them playing music. So that's a big deal. Then you get smaller channels or other channels, and I think it's content driven. So if you're a gamer, hey, what's up, April? Thanks for stopping in. Really appreciate you coming by. So if you're a gamer, then I could definitely see you cranking out content almost on a daily basis. Cloud97's a gamer. If you guys haven't heard of his channel, go check out his channel. And he's just getting started. Oh yeah, everybody definitely hit that like button for me. Let's share it out on Twitter. Let's spread the word. This is kind of like the unofficial after party to the hashtag IAmACreator marathon that went on for 8 hours today. And April, thank you so much for helping us out there. That's how so I did say his name correct, Jen. And he's a great guy. Me and him have had several chats since we've had some good conversation. I look forward to an opportunity to meet Gary and to bring everybody up to speed. Jennifer Pritchett is a very talented makeup artist here in East Texas. She does all kinds of stuff. She does visual effects makeup, SFX. She'll do weddings. She'll do bar mitzvahs. Do you do bar mitzvahs, Jen? So but she's very talented makeup artist, and she is the makeup artist from our short film that we shot in July, In Plain Sight, which is probably going to be released, be finished sometime in October is going to be my guess. But she was also an actress, and she was in a music video called Wishing Well. It's done really, really well. I think it's well over 20,000 views. And so let's see if I can find the link to this thing. And if I can find the link to it, and I should be able to post it in the chat if I can find it. Oh, see that he posted it. Here's another thing: is when you guys go to when you post your videos, It's the sucky part about Twitter and Facebook and YouTube, okay? That most people don't want to stop and click on something on Twitter or Facebook. What they want is they want it to just autoplay. Unfortunately, unless you upload it directly to them, you can't set it to autoplay. I've tried this. And I know there's videos out there saying you can get away with it if you do this and you stand on your head and you touch your ear and then you reach up to the sky and you touch an antenna. It doesn't work. So you have to. So April says, yes, now that the stamina is getting better, I'm working on both recording, editing to get at least 5 videos up per week. Wow. That's a pretty hefty schedule there. She gets too excited that one is ready that I post 2 times in one day and then not a for 4. You know what? That's the thing though. You want a consistent release. On my other channel, we were releasing twice a month, but in order to do that, we were working on cars, and this was a long time ago, and we'd have to have a project. So I mean, we'd have to have the project, we'd have to get the parts, we'd have to work on the car, then we'd have to get the video, and we'd have to edit. It'd take 2 weeks to crank. That was a relentless schedule. You can get impressions, and you can add the links, and I think posting to Twitter is better as far as sharing like live streams and pushing things out. But if you're actually wanting hits, you want hits on YouTube, you want the watch time to count, you got to have them, you got to redirect that traffic to YouTube from Facebook and Twitter. And that's the way. And April, you are very astute with Twitter. I mean, you got massive following on Twitter, so you can answer this. But are you using Twitter to funnel traffic to YouTube? Is that your objective? You know, April Braswell is a specialist. Wow, she's 11 views away from 46,000. That's huge. Congratulations. But do you use? So she's gonna be leading a live stream with them next week. Okay, so one of them she does, yeah. So she's using one of her other social media, and the key with social media platforms is you want to drive traffic somewhere. You either want to drive them to your website or wherever is your hub. It used to be I was driving traffic to Facebook, and then I had Twitter, I had YouTube set up so that Facebook would drive traffic to YouTube, and now I'm driving more traffic towards YouTube to try and get the watch time up, so that we can get monetized again. Because we were monetized. We were monetized back in January, and then it went away. And I don't really get all mad about that kind of stuff. It is what it is. And now we have a new challenge. Yes, April Braswell is a dating relationship coach and speaker, and she's got a lot of good videos, especially for people when they get up closer to my age. and she has a lot of good advice for older singles around my age, and I'm sure April does dating relationship coaching for younger people as well. A lot of the stuff I've watched, and it's been good advice. I wish I would have known it, 10 years ago. So Cloud97 says, I made a Twitter just to tweet this. See, you're moving on. That's awesome. He's got he made his Twitter account. I think Twitter is huge because that video that we were talking about earlier, that we created the channel, and it was called the Pay It Forward. And then we made that channel, and I posted one video that was scheduled for release on my channel. And I think it's scheduled for release in like 3 weeks. So hopefully everybody comes back and will actually watch this on my channel. But that video in the last 2 hours has 104 views, 28 comments, 18 likes. And I don't know how many times it was shared on social media, but I know that Twitter was the primary source of the sharing. Let's see. According to April, she's to YouTube and to her site. She wants to tip peeps to sign up for her what's eZine? What is eZine, April? She wants subject fans. She watched my videos for hours last night to raise my watch time. I really appreciate that, April. That goes a long way. And like I said, we Uh, her target is relationship minded peeps. So she's definitely not looking for the people that are looking for just one night stands. She's trying to help people develop long term relationships. Um, okay, so she's focused on the age thing because of niching. Target ideal prospects. Ezine is her. Oh, that's your newsletter. Okay. I've been a doll to you. You're just too nice to me. April is an awesome person. She's done a lot of, and she really has shown Secondhand Productions a lot of support. And to answer your question, April, you had a question that you left on my YouTube channel yesterday, and Jen, if she's still here, can answer this question. But Jen, do you know what the baseball cap I wear is? I know Tyler knows. I know Cloud 97. Everybody, Cloud 97 is actually my son. He's a great kid, and he's working hard, and I'm just stoked that he's able to be around tonight because normally he's out working. So Jennifer Pritchett or Cloud 97 or anybody that knows me really well, can anybody answer April's question from YouTube earlier where she asked what the symbol on my hat was, my baseball cap that you guys know I wear all the freaking time. Actually, I have multiples. I don't want you guys thinking I'm wearing just the same nasty old hat. I actually have like 3 or 4 of them. And then when they get nasty and old, I give them to Cloud 97. He can have them. So if anybody wants to answer that question, Jennifer's like, I don't remember. This is the hat laugh. So let's see. I have one around here somewhere. Somewhere. And no, it's not. I bet you the dogs ran off with it. Don't lie to the people. The hat is actually a San Francisco Giants hat. I'm actually from the Bay Area originally, and I grew up in Northern California. Absolutely. Thank you. Great advice there. So I'm going to like this thing. Let's see, I got 3 likes. That's good. That's a good start. I know April's from Southern California. And what are you, a Dodgers fan? Is that what this is? You knew that was a Giants hat, didn't you? She lived in San Francisco for 20 years. I actually grew up there. I was born and raised. I was actually born in Concord, California. I was raised between Vallejo, San Leandro, San Lorenzo, Hayward, all on the East Bay. Grew up as an A's fan back in the 80s. I watched Reggie Jackson tee off on people back when he was with the Yankees. I'm not that old yet. But I am a desperate defender of the San Francisco Giants. I've been a diehard fan since probably 1993 when they signed Barry Bonds, and I've been through some lean years with these guys, but I can't break it. Still loyal. And I'm a huge San Francisco 49er fan. I've been a 49er fan since I was 10 years old when Joe Montana threw to Dwight Clark the catch against the dreaded Cowboys. Now, I don't hate the Cowboys like I used to, but once they got rid of a few of these coaches and a few of these players, I don't really have the angst and animosity towards the Cowboys anymore. But my 49ers, I'm a diehard 49er fan. And as long as they can keep the politics out of football, I'm totally cool with that. Desperate is right. Actually, April, did you say you are a Dodgers fan or no? Yay, nay? Oh my goodness, I know you hadn't asked me. See, if I hadn't asked Jen what hat it was, she would have known. She would have been fine. But because I asked, yeah. No, I get you. I understand that. So, April, are you a Dodgers fan? You're down there in Orange County. One of the coolest things about the hashtag IAmACreator group and what we're doing here is just the networking that happens all over the world. I've been able to meet some really cool people in England and in Canada. And I'll be honest with you, the growth of this channel has primarily been in England. There's huge following growing in England, and I'm just amazed by that, you know. And so one of the things I was kind of doing when we started messing with the short review concept, I've had other people. Oh wait, here she goes. April says she's L.A. Kings. Oh, Niners, yes. San Jose Sharks. Huh. All right, Anaheim Ducks first, Sharks second, Dodgers no. All right, you're good. You're good. We're good. We're good. They got in a big fight about 2 weeks ago, and if you're not a Dodgers fan or a 40 or a Giants fan, unless you're like a Yankees Sox, you just don't understand the hate that we have for these teams. It's just brutal, and everybody in LA is like, oh no, that's all. You guys up north, you're the ones with the problem. No, it's mutual. It's mutual. You go, you go to. I mean, come on. I mean, you go to LA, and if I walked into Chavez Ravine wearing my Giants gear, they wouldn't be very nice to me. Probably wouldn't be like walking into the Oakland Raiders Coliseum, back in the day, but it wouldn't be fun. So, uh, so what I thought we could do is I kind of hesitate to do kind of reviews on other people's stuff that I know. Um, but our good friend James Cox, and he's a great guy. He asked me to review his short film Body, or he offered to let me do it. And I said, well, I'm kind of hesitant. See, she recognized the hat. That's because I keep my head moving. Yeah. um, I'm hesitant to do reviews on other people because I'm just going to look at it the way I look at it, and then I'm just going to ask you, tell me if you agree with me or you don't agree with me, and we'll go from there. So I thought I'd share it with you guys. I'm gonna watch it right now, and I wish there was a way through Google Hangout that maybe we could look at it together, but I think that's probably a stretch. If I was using XSplit, I could definitely do that, but then I have no control over the chats. It's just a pain. OBS, I'm still messing with. You got sushi that day. Which day was that? Oh, wait. It says he bet me a sushi dinner a long time ago when the Giants lost to the Yankees. Oh, my goodness. Wait. We don't know. Tyler, come on. April, you want to field this one for me? Does anybody want to field this for me? Why that can't be true? The Giants have never lost to the Yankees in the playoffs. They've never played the Yankees in the World Series. So I'm not sure. It must have been a different team. But yeah, I mean, the Giants they're in the National League and the Yankees in the American League. I mean, they're in the playoffs. Neither of the two shall see each other. So that's not possible. But back to this. I kind of want to watch this short film, and then we'll do a film breakdown on it, and I'll tell you the. There you go, Cloud 97. You've been handled by April Braswell. There you go. So we're gonna watch this thing. I'm gonna pull it up, and I'm gonna I'll put the link in the chat. You guys go watch it, and then we can talk about it. As soon as I find it, I can't speak very well. Someone said earlier I had a Southern accent. I was like, I don't think so. I do not think so. The Yankees, my Bill and Sissy, Paul, can you do a share screen or screen it on your phone and hold? That's an interesting twist. Let's see. I don't know if that would work very well. It was years ago. Now they've played. I know they played, but I thought I was. Yeah, I mean, it would have had to been years and years and years ago, kiddo. Oh my goodness. I don't know if this is going to work the way we're talking about. I mean, let me see. Let me see. Oh, there you go. Yeah, you guys aren't going to see that very well. If I do that, that's going to be kind of funky. And you probably won't hear it very well. Let's see. Yeah, they didn't really do full time interleague play for a long time, guys. So I don't know. You sure you're not talking about when you were in Little League playing for the Yankees on a Little League team? Let's see. Does anybody know if I can switch to my desktop maybe? Let's see. Settings. Oh, wait. Yeah, I can. Screen share. Yeah, I can do screen share. All right, so let me pull this thing up and then we'll do a screen share. We'll watch this thing together and then I will. Yeah, you'll just pull up OBS. I got OBS here, but I'm not going to pull it up midstream because it's going to cancel this connection. So let's see if I can find. It's called Body. James Cox. He's a good guy, and he said, "Go ahead and do your review. Do your worst." Where's it at? I'm looking. Should be okay. So I can go to his channel. Hey, thanks for stopping in, Jen. Okay, I'll add the link below for later, so everybody can watch. And oh, come on, where's it at? It's here. There it is. I found it. I have found.
I developed my
Body by James Cox. So I'm gonna let it get past the commercial here.
Years ago, I had a lot of trouble sleeping, and it always.
All right, here we go. We're gonna minimize. No, not yet. Not yet. Bring that up here. Let's screen share. Oh, I can screen share an application window. That's cool. Let's go there. All right. So now we're presenting to everyone. Can you guys see it? Can everybody see that? Anybody? All right. So we're going to watch this, and I might, yeah, let's just watch the whole thing and see what happens. Here we go. Yeah, maybe. Oh, wait. Okay. So I'll make it bigger. Can y'all hear it?
Hey, Tori, ready for this weekend? Cool. Oh, he's over there? Hey, buddy, ready for a trip? Oh, yeah? What you got? Awesome. I'm good with that. I guess I'll see you guys in the morning. Later.
Yeah, I think right out the gate. It's kind of tough for me to keep on watching this and not comment on it. Hey, it's emergency vehicles, trains, aircrafts, etc. How you doing today, bud? And Nathan, you're here. Good to see you guys. You guys hit that like button for me and throw this out on Twitter. This is the unofficial post hashtag IAmACreator marathon after party. But right now what I'm doing is James Cox earlier kind of told me, go ahead, review my short film Body and tell me what you think. I got thick skin. Well, congratulations, Emergency. You keep it up and you're going to get there, man. Well, definitely, if anybody hasn't checked out your channel, they definitely should. So we're reviewing this short film Body, and so far we're about 1:41 into it, and I don't want to tear it down. The biggest thing I see right out the gate is this right here. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm seeing, but you got to light the inside of the car when you're shooting a camera through a window, and you have it set to automatic. It's going to auto adjust. And what's going to happen is it's adjusting to the brightest part of the shot, and so that's obviously it's going to close up that aperture, and it's going to close up that aperture on your lens, and then everything that's like in the darker areas is going to be really, really dark, and then the area that it's kind of focused on, it's going to be really, really clean, and everything outside the window's fine. It's what's in the car that's dark. So the way you handle this is you light the ever-living tar out of the inside of this car to balance out the light between inside and outside. So an easy solution is earlier tonight I showed you guys a little 160 bulb LED. You could throw that in between the driver and the passenger and use a scrim to fuse it. You can use some paper to cover it and help diffuse the light so it's not so abrasive. You could put a colored film on it, filter on it to help kind of match it to the outside so it's not too bad. But you definitely want to light the inside of the car so we can see him better. That's the big thing I got right out the gate. As far as the shot goes, it's not a bad shot. I've seen this shot. The easy way to light is, like I said, is you want to throw. You could use anything from a cell phone. I've seen people use cell phones. Any kind of a handheld LED bar or something like that. You could stick in the car. It's either self-powered or battery operated. And you just stick that between the driver and the camera, and then you want to diffuse it. No. It's not. You just definitely want some light on this side of his face to help balance out what's going on outside. And the other solution is you tint the windows. So that's the first suggestion I would have, just to make sure that your actor's in clean shot. And that way, if you were to attempt to color grade this, chances are really good you'd have a lot of noise in the shot, and you would not be able to color grade it. It's most likely an 8-bit image, and that's going to break down pretty quick during a color grade. So let's go fast forward back to where we were. Car's rolling up on a dirt road off the main road, and we're going to pick up right where we left off. Well, yeah, there you go. Make sure that flashlight's hitting some kind of a scrim or diffuser to break out the light and spread it out more even, so it's not just splashing them in the face. And those are like $10 or $12 on Amazon, so they're real cheap. Oh, and then he's loaded it down with commercials. I wouldn't, if you're doing short films, I wouldn't plot them down with commercials, because it immediately takes the audience out of it. And if you haven't hooked them, then they might just go away. So. All right, so here's the next part. Okay, so they're all getting out of the car. You got a lot of traffic, and that's the audio's coming from the camera. Now, if you got the money and you got the opportunity, you want to put lapel mics on the people far away. You definitely at least want to put a dead cat on a shotgun mic or something up close so that we can actually hear what they're saying. That's the problems. And you'll do a live stream step-by-step tutorial to walk us through that. Yep. No hook earned yet. Yeah. Yeah. It hasn't gotten the hook yet. I mean, that's short films sometimes don't have time to get a hook. They're really intended on a twist, and the audience has to walk away, and they're going to walk away and say, wow, I want to know more. I want to know more about what I just saw, or I want to know more about the background of this. And short films are really utilized by filmmakers to practice their craft. The actors get to practice their craft and get better. So it's a great resource for learning how to become a filmmaker. You don't have to go to school to do this stuff. You just gotta be willing to put in time, get yourself on sets, learn from people that are already doing it. And then, I think short films are a great resource for learning. Here, I couldn't hear anything they were saying because they were so far away from the camera, and we had that traffic. You want a dead cat mic, dead cat cover on the shotgun mic that you could mount on top of the camera and plug into the camera to get this guy here in front of us. And then you'd need some other form of audio if you do ADR, which would be in post, or if you put a lapel mic on these guys to record them separately. All right, here we go. And when you're shooting like this and you're shooting off the cuff and you're on a public space, if you don't have permits to be filming where you're filming and you haven't notified the local authorities to let them know you're going to be out there filming, sometimes people get rushed, or they feel rushed, or if you don't want people looking at you while you're filming something, that can cause camera motion. That can cause a lot of things, framing. I mean, at this point, it's not that they're poorly framed, but when they get this far away from it, I would have repositioned in another spot sooner. You don't have to show them get to their destination before you switch angles. You just have to show them heading in that direction. And you don't necessarily have to have music constantly playing behind what you're doing. It's an option. It's a creative decision. So here we've done the switch. And when I say that you don't have to show them walking all the way to the distance, I mean, I could, if I were to edit this and I show them walking in that direction and then I cut it to this, the audience isn't going to know any different. Another way to do it is to get a tighter shot of them, having some kind of a conversation going down the trail, or just another angle aside of them walking from right to left, heading into the woods. In this case, I would not have them go from left to right. The effect is that it would give the illusion that they're heading back the way they came, because the way they walked straight in. So I would have them go from right to left, and then come back to this shot. You can really see this front guy's just not feeling this. That's a lot of walking for you. Here's something that you got to be careful with, when your actors are wearing glasses or sunglasses, you got to make sure that you don't become part of the shot. Didn't happen here, but it's just an FYI. All right, so then they come around the corner on the spot. My only issue with this shot right here, honestly, is I would frame them up a little higher and get in a little closer. You want to fill your shot. You want to fill it with with interesting subjects, and so you don't want a lot of dead space above him. So if you go by the rule of thirds, they're in the lower third of the shot, and they're centered, which is fine. That's not an issue, but a lot. If you look at where the subject is compared to what's around it, your target subjects like really small in this shot, and I would probably want to fill that up more. When I get done watching this, I'm going to switch back and everybody will have left. Once again, he's in the lower half of the shot. You definitely want to bring him up. You know, opportunities for moving forward. These are all lessons learned from, you know, as a cinematographer, you'll learn these things. The other issue we have here is we've got some blowout on these leaves, and that just, all that means is we're massively overexposed and there's no data here to work with. Over here on the tree here, there's no data. Here on the tree, there's no data. On her forearm, there's no data, and it happens. And the way you do that is you can do a neutral density filter on a matte box, or you can, you know, I've got an icebreaker filter that I can put on the ends of my glass, and it automatically drops what they call f-stops. It drops 2 f-stops lower so that you can have your aperture can be open more, which the iris, right? It can be open more, allow more light in, and then you don't get as much blowout that way in post. You have something to work with there. I guess I'm just focused on the technical breakdown of this. Now we're going to get to a part I do like here in a second. Is the setup of the tents. I like the fact that I mentioned the other day that I don't like jump cuts. But when you're doing a collage of activity and you don't want to film the entire process, but you want to show the activity, you can use jump cuts. And so I do like the fact that he used jump cuts to accomplish this. Once again, there's not a lot of dialogue here. And so you want to make sure that your actors are engaged with the environment and have tasks.
I really shouldn't be out here camping. College work to do. We're doing a week. I don't know, maybe the break will get my mind to rest.
What kind of college work do you have?
I write a paper on cells and tissue organisms.
I wish I had dedication and ambition like you've got.
Don't be so hard on yourself. Your dedication is just
Like what?
like the way you play piano and guitar. The stunts you do on the BMX and skateboard are pretty.
Yeah, you're right. I guess
What the hell? Holy shit! What the hell are you doing here?
Hey guy, you scared the crap out of me. What are you doing?
Where did you come from? What are you doing here?
Listen, buddy.
Mike, calm down.
Calm down. This guy just told the can't sit beside me. You're telling me to calm down?
You know what I love about this shot? This guy just comes out of nowhere. And I mean, you're kind of almost being lulled to sleep by the just very casual way they're talking to each other. I do kind of dig the creative approach to lighting these tents, which he was flashing his lights earlier, telling him his lights were better than my lights. But I just love this guy just comes in, sits down, and freaks these guys out. First time I ever watched it, that got me, and I liked it.
Hey, y'all got some food?
Listen, buddy, you got a lot of nerve. Someone that can't sitting at my side, just scaring the living hell out of me, and now you're gonna ask for food?
I'll give you some food, but then you have to leave.
what the hell are we gonna do now?
I'm sure someone can do it.
Yeah, and what if he's not?
Corey should have fed the guy. It's just gonna encourage him to want to stay.
Oh, come on.
Oh, come on, man. Look at him. He's obviously homeless. Giving him food like that, just gonna want him to want to stick around.
That's right. We should have never given him food. Now he's never gonna leave. Do better. I'm gonna be doing the weirdo in the night. Oh.
Sir, we'd
Wow.
appreciate it if after you're done eating and getting warm, you would go. Sir, did you hear the
I'm cold. You got a blanket.
Hurry on, you tiny mind. What are you doing? You're supposed to be getting ready. You're not fucking in there for the night.
Better be. I didn't come out here to deal with self-study.
Yeah, I don't think so.
listen, my Boldies aren't too happy that you're here and they want you to leave.
What I love about this is they're having this whole conversation right within earshot of him. He can hear everything they're saying. So it's kind of like this is more of a comedic, it comes across more comedic, and I like it. It makes me laugh. It's fun. It's entertaining. But yeah, I mean, this guy down here in the white. It's funny. I talked to James about this, and he said, "Oh, he's like, man, he had a hard time remembering his lines, and he was like really struggling." It's so funny how the best performances come in those kind of situations, But yeah, it's just this whole scene just kind of makes me laugh. Not in a negative way, but it's actually it's entertaining.
So you can keep the blanket to keep you warm through the night, okay?
Very generous.
You're welcome.
See, he's very polite.
I am. Thank you. I'm just gonna stay for the night. I'll be gone before the sun comes up.
No, you can't stay. My friends want you to leave.
Tell your friends it'll be okay. I'm harmless.
Once again, all within earshot.
Well, are you out of your mind? We told you to get rid of the guy. I bet that's what every psychopathic serial killer says right before they murder their victims.
I'm sure you promise.
Her playing with her hairs really kind of throwing me off
I
here.
think you're mad. Now listen, if he gets anywhere near me, he's gonna find himself at the end of this.
I think you're overreacting.
Overreacting? I don't think so. The guy stumbles in camp. We don't even hear him coming up, and he sits down at her side, scares the living hell out of him. He starts asking for food. No.
Okay, maybe it's a little bit.
Little bizarre. It's a lot bizarre, Tori. And what's really weird, what's making it more bizarre, is that you're encouraging him to stay.
I think.
Now we got another video cut. Another commercial break.
I'm gonna go talk to him and ask him.
Come out of here.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
I'm all right until I get a little warmer by the fire.
So you're just gonna get warm and you'll be on your way?
Like a friend. Yep, that's right.
All right, man. Have a good night. Be well.
You too, sir.
So you just get warm and you'll be gone. I don't know what that'll be.
Can you believe him?
Look, I don't know. Okay? However, all I know is late Corey fed him. Corey can get him. I'm going to bed.
Are you serious?
Bye, guys.
No. You go to sleep. I'm not going to while there's some crazy lunatic anywhere near me. So you go to sleep. I'll keep on watching the guy. I don't know. I don't like the guy. The whole situation's kind of freaking me out. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, whatever.
He's gonna sit there and watch me. Now, okay. Unfortunately, he didn't finish the. All right, let's stop sharing. And we're back. So let's talk about this. Obviously, I was stopping it and I was doing technical breakdown as we were going through it, watching this. There's some good stuff and there's some stuff that you'd want to correct moving forward. He's obviously he didn't get a chance to finish it because it is really, really difficult to do a continuous shot where I mean, that last shot, I mean, that's several minutes of your actors having to move around and find dialogue. The girl she's messing with her hair. That's just kind of like distracting. It's almost like she's bored. It comes across that way. There's obviously some overacting. They're not professional actors, which you're going to get. And but I thought the concept was cool. It was funny. It's entertaining. And as long as that's what he's going for. There's a couple parts where the camera shifted. It's like he shifted his weight, but he's filming all that time. Probably would have been better just throw it on a tripod if you're not going to have the camera move. That way you don't have to run the risk of, shifting off your weight and then moving. It wasn't necessarily a good low light camera. So there was a lot of noise in it. Part of that could be due to compression that YouTube's applying to the video when it's uploaded. But you could tell there's a fair amount of noise in the shot that wouldn't be easily fixed. My dogs are just going crazy outside. I bet we have foxes on our property. I guarantee they're out there seeing the foxes. So did anybody have a thought on this particular short film? Do you think I'm off base? Let me know in the chat. Tell me what you're thinking. The bigger issue is probably dealing with amateur actors. I would have gone for sides on this, just so that you can get the tight shots, and it gives you something to go to when someone's not giving you the lines. One of the things now, I had benefit that James did talk to me about this short film, and he did tell me one of the drawbacks was that the old man was having problems with his lines, remembering his lines, and he had the least amount of dialogue. And he said they kept reshooting. By the time they got done, it was like so late that he went home to go sleep for a couple hours, and he ended up sleeping through, and he wasn't able to get the rest of the short film shot, which was and he told me the finale of how it should have ended. I think most of this stuff that the issues that you have with this particular short film is there's not an ending. Obviously that's problematic. You'd want to, I would reshoot this and, kind of clean up your dialogue a little bit. You want it to have more of a consistent, purpose and goal and objective. And unfortunately, because you didn't get to finish shooting it, the audience doesn't get to find out what that is. It's really just three friends going out and they're roaming around in the woods and they're camping, and then out of nowhere comes this guy. And it was funny. It was entertaining. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it was definitely, it was very comedic in the way it was shot. But I definitely would have gotten some sides. That would have alleviated you having to stay out there so long, because you might get one take. You might get a take that works. When we were on In Plain Sight, we were shooting a mailbox scene, and we had the two actors, and we kept going, and we had all kinds of problems. Not because the actors were messing up. We had technical difficulties with audio. We had traffic making too much noise. Boom mics was pointing in the wrong place at one point. We weren't able to pick up the second actor because he wasn't projecting, and I didn't want him to project, so we had to come back and we had to lot mic him. And so eventually it just got to the point where you're just like, okay, it's too late in the day to continue this. And so we're going to stop filming today on this scene. We're going to move on. Let's move on. And then what we did is the next day we came back, brought the actor back. He was only supposed to be there one day, and we brought him back for the second day. We decided to shoot that first thing in the morning, because the other issue we had was he's playing the postman. All right. And he's delivering mail. And by the time, we kept on shooting, we got closer to noon, and eventually you're going to have a continuity problem because he's delivering mail throughout the morning. And then he gets to this house, and by the time the shot happens, it's 12:30, 1 o'clock, and that's not going to work. So we brought him back, and the first thing in the morning, we got him in there. and we shot that scene, and we were able to go boom, boom, boom. We knew what we had made mistakes with the day before with our audio, and we were able to correct that. It gave me time to work with the actors, and in my projects, I like to give the actors some leeway so they can do what they want to do. You know, they can actually have some freedom, but I always give them goals and objectives, and I try to tell them what what their character's mindset is, or what the purpose of their character is in that scene. Every scene, every shot has a purpose, and if it doesn't, then it's not moving the story forward, and it doesn't belong in the film. It's that simple. If you're going to take the time to shoot it, make sure it serves a purpose to telling the story or moving the story forward. You know, whether that's the primary story, whether you got a side arcing story, or you're kind of like have a sidebar where you're developing character in the scene, that by developing this character, it explains their momentum and their actions and why they do what they do. You know, so if I have a serial killer and I do a sidebar on with other people, you know, I have a doctor talking to a detective as a sidebar to further that character's story, his background, then that adds to the audience, and it makes the serial killer feel more believable. The most important thing you can do is make your characters believable to the audience. If they're believable, then the audience will trust the characters, and then you're good to go. As far as this particular film goes, I believe the old man, I believe the girl, I believe the guy with the long hair. I had a hard time believing the heavyset guy as a medical student. Just the way he was dressed, just the way he talked, he didn't really seem motivated. You know, he seemed like bummed and depressed. And maybe that was the goal. I just, you know, that's my take on it. So there we go. There. I did. I've alienated my good friend James Cox, and hey, you know what? Kudos to you, James. You made the short film. That is the hardest part, is getting it out there and getting it done. I wish you could have finished it. I think you should go back and shoot it again. You know, correct the things that you can correct, and make sure you get the shots that you need so that you can finish telling the story. Because it was a cool story when you told it to me. When you told me the later part of it, which I'm not going to tell it here. That's James's story. You know, it definitely made a lot more sense. You know, so all right. So there was my whopping review of. Hey, April, how's your editing going? I was hoping I get somebody to come on the. Did I have somebody else join? I see Cloud9 says that's fine. We had Nathan. Let's see who else here still. We shall see. It's just you and me. Everybody else left. That is all good. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to wrap up this particular live stream. April, thanks so much for sticking around. And oh, you're almost ready. Your videos are almost ready. Cool. So you're going to put them on a schedule and you're going to get them out there. Be sure for anybody that happens to watch this, if you want to ask me any questions about film, you know, I don't know everything, but I really, it's a passion of mine to learn and grow. I've worked in a lot of different capacities on multiple projects. Primarily my role is I'm a director. I'm not an actor. I'm a producer. I'm a filmmaker. I do a lot of post-production, visual effects, and cinematography. So I don't do weddings. So let's avoid those requests. But, you know, if you have questions, if there's suggestions or observations you have on my projects, I'm more than interested to hear them. I've got thick skin. You have to have thick skin if you're going to be in this business. Just go read the Amazon reviews on my film, Unwanted. You know, it's pretty brutal, and there's people that love it and people that hate it. And that's the way it's going to be for everything we do, whether it's your YouTube channel, my movie, or my YouTube channel. It doesn't really matter. So you got to have thick skin, but, you know, if watch the short film, go watch it. I'm going to link his short film below. I want you guys to go watch it and then come back, tell me what you thought. And then tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, we will be live streaming where we're going to have our discussion about the Mary Sue and Marty Stu issue. where we're going to discuss the pros and cons of these character archetypes and whether or not they serve any real purpose other than to stroke egos for political correctness, social justice warriors, or just in general for someone to feel good about themselves. Yes, I'm talking about Star Wars. Terrible, terrible stuff. But that being said, you can hit me up at Paul_SHP at Twitter. All right. And that is Paul_SHP at Twitter. You can hit me up there. Shoot me any questions you have. Hit me up with any short films you'd be interested in me to take a look at. I love to watch them. And don't worry about. I've watched all kinds of short films. I've had some wild ones sent to me, so I'm not overly picky on what I watch. But I definitely, if you ask me to review something that you did, I expect you to have an open mind about my opinions on your work, and it's not meant to be negative or derogatory or confrontational or abusive in any way. It's only meant to be constructive so that both you and I can learn from the process. So until then, tomorrow, 7 p.m., join us as we live stream once again. And then Thursday, you're going to see a scheduled release of my next review of a short film called Hope, which is a very, very good short film. I don't know how that film never, I mean, as far as I can see, it never won any awards, was never submitted to festival, but I got a chance to watch it. I loved it. I did a review on it, and there's just because I say I loved it doesn't mean I didn't find anything wrong with it. So come back. Nah, that's too much work. I do appreciate the suggestion, April. That's a long handle right there. I don't know. We're going to see how this one plays. I mean, it's growing. And with your help, it's grown even farther. So I really appreciate your support. And this is one of the few times people see me without my baseball hats on. So I guess that was a perk to the live stream. But I'm going to get out of here. I gotta go let some dogs in. They're chasing foxes. You guys have a great evening. And until then, I will talk to you next time.